Hey guys, it's Chef Jason and welcome to today's edition of Ace This Recipe. We're planking today. No, not that planking. We are cedar planking today. We've got some beautiful steelhead. We're cedar planking that on the Big Green Egg. We're hanging out here in Grill Stadium getting ready for today's recipe. It's going to be a good one too because we're going to show you how to do a little dual zone, indirect, direct cooking on the Big Green Egg. We'll get that fired up first because we've got a little bit of prep to do today, but we want to get set ahead of time. These cedar planks, I'll tell you what, awesome. They add such a great aroma, add such a good finish, and really make salmon totally next level. Let's get cooking. We're cooking on our extra large egg today, and I've got the fire bowl in there with the divider. Now, don't worry, if you don't have a divider or a fire bowl, let's say you have a large, you can easily just set that charcoal to the right-hand side, creating that direct and indirect zone. Works out great. So we're gonna go ahead and get this started. We'll get that fan kicked in now. Our temperature today, 400 degrees. We're gonna get that all set and ready to go. When we come back, we'll get this all set, preheated, and then we'll show you how to set up for the egg expander, but we'll also show you what to do if you don't have the egg expander. All right, as you can see, we added our expander system, and look at that. We've got the cast iron here really helping us make it indirect, and now we've got direct. But let's say you don't have the expander system. Well, take this guy out, set it to the side. Now what you're gonna do is go ahead and add your grill grate. So you can still do dual zone, direct and indirect using your grill grate as well. That is helpful. Starting off today, we've got those Western cedar planks, and we went ahead and soaked this. This has been in for about an hour. We'll give it a flip. We will get set and ready to go. Those guys are gonna add such a beautiful flavor. The star of the show today, right? A little bit of that steelhead. That's kind of that salmon trout. Absolutely fantastic. We're gonna show you how to get that all prepped and cleaned and ready. Now, this area here, this is where we're gonna be to taste, right? We're gonna use just enough oil to coat, just enough Tiki Tiki and Fishy Fishy to really meet your flavor preferences, and then we'll finish it up strong with a little bit of lemon and garlic, all again to taste, because we want you to create that final steelhead salmon on the cedar plank on the Big Green Egg. Well, the first step we said was to make sure we soak those cedar planks. Now, I'll tell you this, I like to soak them in warm water. I soak them for about an hour. That's usually the most amount of penetration you'll get from the water into the wood. Now, cedar planks, one-time use, and then they get discarded. So I like to just get those guys soaked, prepped, and ready to go. Now, here's our steelhead. Couple different things, right? We have talked a little bit about the skin. I am not a leave the skin on guy. Yes, I understand there's nutrients and all those good things, and some people prefer the skin. Me, and for this recipe, we're gonna take it off because as you can see, that little bit of fat in there, for me, that's a funky flavor. I don't prefer that, so we'll go ahead and take that off. Now, I'm gonna switch gloves here real quick because I wanna show you something. We're gonna start off with a little bit of seasoning, right? So what I like to do is about a tablespoon of oil per piece of fish. I want to get that all started and ready to go. And then what I'm going to do is we'll go ahead and add to taste. That's about a tablespoon of Tiki Tiki. That's going to start off giving us some good flavor. And then a little bit, about a tablespoon of Fishy Fishy as well. That's going to add a really good herb component to it. Now, we'll go ahead and squeeze in a little bit of that fresh lemon juice. Now that we've got that seasoning all set, what I like to do next is garlic. I like to do that right at the last minute. I want it to stay just beautiful and fragrant. And then again, you know, add as much as you want. We're gonna go ahead and add about a tablespoon of garlic to that. And then get that all dialed in, set and ready to go. And you can see it makes kind of a nice paste. And the cool thing about that paste is we use that to baste our fish. All right, steelhead prep time, right? And what I like to do here, I'm gonna start on the belly side, make a small cut. See how I have a kind of a flexible boning knife? I'm gonna make a small cut in there, and I'm gonna go right along the skin, as you can see there, and I'm gonna take that skin off. I wanna get most of that belly fat off. Like I said, that's not my preferred flavor. So flip that guy over, we'll get that off there as well. And then we'll do the same thing to the other side. I like to use the paper that it comes wrapped in from the fish monger because you know what? It's great to keep that off your cutting board. Helps you clean the cutting board easier, right? And it's not gonna smell like steelhead. So now what I'm gonna do is go ahead, we've got our mixture, we're all set. I'm going to go ahead and baste these. And these are going to be one-time use as well, because we're basting the fish and then going back in there with the same silicone basting brush, so we don't want to get too crazy. We just want to get that a nice base. Now, what I'm going to do is go ahead and let this sit for just a little bit. I'll let it sit for about 10 or 15 minutes just so that can get on there, do its thing. Here we are at about 4 minutes. Let's check that here. Beautiful, beautiful toast on the cedar. We are good to go. Now, time to add that steelhead, and then we'll be right back on the big green egg. All nice and toasted. Let's go ahead carefully, get that salmon on there. One of the things I like to do too, you guys, let's do a thin little layer of oil on here, right? Because that's going to help that fish not stick. It'll come off a lot easier. We are all set to go. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start it here on the direct side. We're going to go on the direct side for about 5 minutes to warm that wood up. Then we're going to move it over to the indirect side next. Let's take a look at this now after that 5 minutes, and you can see we're starting to get some color. The wood is nice and preheated. Now, the reason I'm doing direct and indirect is I don't want that wood to burn. So now I'm going to put it right over the indirect side, as close as I can to the heat source. We're going to close it now, let this finish. Now, our cooking temperature today, we're going to cook this to 145 degrees internal temp. We'll go ahead and shut this, let it go. We are super close to done. I bet you we have about 5 minutes. Let's take a temperature reading. We are at, look at that, we are at 138. So we are in a good place. We're going to go ahead and give this one more quick little glaze and just finish it up. And I'll tell you, the beauty of that indirect is just, these things are coming out perfect. And the backyard, like I always say, my neighbors are probably wondering how the backyard smells so fantastic. So we'll shut this guy up. About 5 minutes left. We'll see you at the cutting board when it is time to garnish, and then a little, quality control. Grill Stadium never disappoints, that is for sure. The cedar plank on the big green egg. I mean, talk about combining charcoal flavors with that cedar plank with the steelhead. We are in a good place. Hey, I'm Chef Jason, your Ace Hardware grilling expert. Don't forget, subscribe to the Ace Hardware YouTube channel, because you can grab all of our amazing recipes and more just by subscribing. And then every week we'll tell you when a brand new recipe video is live. I'm actually salivating because it smells so fantastic, and I've been waiting to get in here to do my quality control, but 145 degrees, perfect, so flaky, so juicy. Cheers. Oh man.